If you've got a business right now, the way you show up today will predict how you make it through this, situation. The best thing that you could be doing right now is managing your stress, managing your fear, and being very, very, very proactive about that. Scrolling the news all day long, scrolling social media all day long, going back and forth with people talking about how it's the end of the world all day long. All this stuff, all it's going to do is just breed more fear. And when you've got that fear, it just cripples you to be able to actually take positive actions towards building your business. As a business owner, you've stepped up and you've said, I'm going to elect to be a leader. Now's the time where you need to lead. Because if you don't, it will drag you down. And if it drags you down, it will drag your business down. Hey, my friend, welcome to the Moving Mastery Podcast. My name's Massaro, and today we've got a special episode talking about the coronavirus and how it's going to impact your business and what you need to be doing moving forward. This is something that we're all dealing with as a global community, but as business owners, it's really important that right now we really, focus in on what's important and take care of certain things to make sure that we are in the best position that we could possibly be in when this thing passes, because it will pass. We will get through this, and the decisions you make today and the actions you take today will determine where you end up on the other side of this coronavirus. I've got my main man, Chris, here with me today. What's up, Chris?
What's up?
We are 6 feet apart.
At least. And, against my wife's recommendation, I'm here at the office recording this for you guys because I felt that it's really important to get this out there, because there's a lot of fear going on out there right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, there's people getting sick, right? There's people dying. There's businesses closing. There's, I don't have to tell you everything that's going on. You know what's going on. You see what's going on out there. And everybody's dealing with it in their own way. I just got done with one of my Moving Mastery coaching groups where we kind of went through a strategy on the steps that they need to take in order to, maximize this time, again, to come out on the other side of this, knowing that we will get through it, it will pass, and that's what we're talking about today. How are you feeling about all this, Chris? I'm trying to make sure that I'm not buying too much into the fear, but also getting the facts and making sure I'm aware and up to date as to what's happening, and taking the proper precautions, making sure I'm washing my hands and avoiding being in public and being around people, and trying to do my best to create that personal space around myself, so I'm not only keeping myself safe but not freaking anybody else out.
Yeah. It's important. Right now it's like you might not feel as if it might not worry you, right? There might be people, I'm not worried about the coronavirus. It's no big deal. I'm going to go out in public. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But you know what? You're putting other people at risk. Yeah. Because if you catch it, and now somebody, that's in a compromised immune system category, if they catch it, you're just, putting everybody in harm's way. So do the responsible thing right now. Listen to, your local health officials and government, and whatever they're suggesting you do. Please do it. We could all do our part in minimizing the spread. Don't think that you don't have the ability to make a difference, right? Just by, again, washing your hands, taking those actions, you could help the spread. But I think one of the biggest things right now that I'm concerned about when I look out and I see the public and I see everybody, how they're reacting, and I hear from clients and members of our programs, and is the fear. Yeah. The fear is more crippling than the virus can be. Listen, I don't want to downplay the virus. It's a real thing. People are getting sick. People are dying. It's scary. Right. Sure. It's, it perpetuates that, that kind of evil nightmare that we have, that the world's coming to an end. And, we start thinking about all the movies that we've seen that remind us of that. And the fear starts to just run rampant. Yeah. And I think that's what's, causing a lot of the hysteria and all of that.
And as a business owner, it's really important right now that we step up as leaders, right? Leaders with not only our team and our employees, but also our family, right? Our kids, our spouse, distant relatives, with people in our community, right? We need leadership right now.
Yeah.
There's, too many people that are just, reading basic headlines of rumors and spreading that information, which just perpetuates the fear, right? We need people to be calm amidst the chaos.
Right.
And as a business owner, you're naturally a leader. You're naturally somebody, or at least you've elected to be in that position. You've stepped up and said, I want to be a leader. Even if you might look in the mirror and say, I'm not a leader. I don't demonstrate the qualities of a leader. But you know what? As a business owner, you've stepped up and you've said, I'm going to elect to be a leader. Now's the time where you need to lead. Right? And so, it's tough because there's, we're going to talk about what you could be doing in your business right now, what you need to be doing in your business right now to make sure that you thrive and you get through this and you come out on the other side of it in good shape. But the best thing that you could be doing right now is managing your stress, managing your fear, and being very, very, very proactive about that.
Right.
I mean, I know we've talked about that. What are you doing right now to help with your stress?
I think it's important to first of all, educate yourself and then look at everything realistically, right? And, find your trusted sources and really if you know the proper precautions to take and you know how to handle this just within your day-to-day, that helps alleviate some of the stress because you're not going to sit there and be worried and fearful about this virus coming to get you. If you understand it, you understand where you have trusted sources that can guide you. That'll help a lot of it. And then in the meantime, double down on your working out, exercise, make sure you're taking care of yourself, eat right. Don't let the diet, slip when you're sitting at home,
Yeah.
and make sure that you're also not only staying up to date on what's happening currently out there with the virus, but also, surround yourself with some positive, input as well. Read a good book, make sure you're spending time with the people in your house, your family, you're all in that together. Make sure there's a community there. I think that helps a lot with the stress.
Yeah, I mean, as a business owner, because that's who mostly that we're talking to.
Right.
I mean, I know there's some people that work for another company or they're thinking about starting their company, but let's just say as a leader, stress management is always important. For me, that was one of the things that really helped me perpetuate my business and really helped me grow was once I learned how to start managing stress. And right now I'm going, kind of one step further because, I'm not downplaying what's going on, right? Stress can creep up for me. Yeah. Just as everybody else, but I put it in its place right away. Like you said, I've got trusted sources. World Health Organization, CDC, local health officials and what the state's saying. And now I'm paying attention as well to what's coming out of the White House, but that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm only allowing myself 2 times max per day, okay, to check in on the news to see what's going on.
That's smart.
And I won't do it before lunch. Any day.
Oh, okay.
Because, things aren't developing that quickly that we need to be, tied in to our phones to where we're like, scroll. Like right now, the last thing you should be doing is scrolling the news all day long. No. Scrolling social media all day long. Going back and forth with people talking about how it's the end of the world all day long. All this stuff, all it's going to do is just breed more fear. And when you've got that fear, it just cripples you to be able to actually take positive actions towards building your business.
Right.
Right. So, for me, I'm meditate every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now I've added in a second meditation throughout
twice
the day.
Twice a day now.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
Not that that's going to be a permanent situation, but, you've got to adapt to what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And the reality is this has been stressful for everybody. You know, we had a big event coming up, Moving CEO Live,
Yep.
right? We had, hundreds of people, tickets to come out here and be with us in Phoenix, and had to make the decision to call that off. Not call it off, but switch it to a virtual event.
Yeah.
And, that wasn't hard. And I found myself for a day or two getting stressed out and, kind of watching the news, because I needed to understand exactly what was going on so I could make the decision.
Yeah.
Now I don't think we'd even have a choice. I think it would have been called, like,
Yeah, no.
they wouldn't have allowed us to have it now. But when we made the decision last week, I was heavily into, watching the news, seeing what's going on, reading everything. I wanted to make sure I was educated before I, pulled the trigger and made the call to
Sure.
move it online. And I could just feel the negative energy just like
Yeah.
zapping me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I allowed that for like a day and a half, and I snapped out of it.
Okay.
Because you have to be able to snap yourself out of it, because what happens is the media, whether it's traditional or social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their business is to keep your attention.
Oh yeah, they're thriving right now.
They're thriving right now.
Yeah.
And like these devices, right? Besides our TVs and our computers, but these devices, you get the alerts. I mean, I don't get them, but you get the alerts.
Yeah.
It's just it's wanting your attention. These companies, social media, the news, they have people on board called attention engineers.
Really?
Their whole job is to make the screen, all of it, to just keep you locked in.
Wow.
And our primal instincts right now, right? We're out of this fear. We have this sense of like needing to be in control.
Yeah.
So when we watch the news, it helps us to feel a little bit in control. But at the same time, it's feeding the fear and feeding the anxiety.
Sure.
Right? When we go stock up on food and when we go stock up on toilet paper, it helps give us a little bit of a sense of control.
Yeah.
Right? So, the point is that you can't be scrolling right now.
No.
You can't be on the news all day right now. If you've got a business right now, the way you show up today will predict how you make it through this, situation.
It's a crucial time.
It's a crucial time.
Yeah.
This is not the time to sit at home and watch the news all day and stress out, or say, oh, you're right, Louis. I'm not going to watch the news and stress out. I'm going to sit at home. I'm just going to watch Netflix and eat potato chips.
No, take advantage of the time.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants this to happen right now.
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, if you're scrolling, what are you really learning every day that relates to you? Yes, there's bad stuff going on in the world. Yes, there's another story of this. There's another case here. There's another case there. Now it's, they're saying it could be spread through the air. Like there's going to be developing information,
Mm-hmm.
right? So on a daily basis, you see what's new and you revisit your plan on how you're going to address it.
Check in
Review what's going on, and revisit your plan,
and then leave it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't, it will drag you down. And if it drags you down, it will drag your business down.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I say this from a place of having gone through the recession at a time where, not only that, I opened my business, and that, a few months later, 9/11 happened,
Right.
went through that, right? Felt like the end of the world, made it through. Recession came, one of the hardest things I had to do, not only because it was the recession, but at the time I was, had 5 or 6 offices at the time. Just bought a bunch of long distance trucks.
Yeah.
My Yellow Pages, I was paying through the roof for Yellow Pages, and they weren't working as well. So it was like the perfect storm.
There's a lot on the line.
There was a lot on the line.
Yeah.
And you know what? That time was one of the hardest times I went through. However, it made me the person I am today, and it made my business what it actually was. Because when the recession came, it pointed out all the flaws, it pointed out all the inefficiencies, all the things that, I was looking over, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, money's coming in, everything's good. You had to tighten up.
Blessing
away.
in disguise.
It was a disguise. So, you've got to look at this time and say, and believe that it will make you stronger.
Yeah.
Anybody going through this right now, take this as an opportunity instead of saying, you know, poor me. Why does this have to be going on right now? I just started my business, or I just got to a level where I'm where I want to be, or I just opened that additional office, or I just opened 10 franchises. Wherever you're at, you've got to look at it and say, this will make me stronger. Mm-hmm. It will.
No doubt.
We've got to believe that.
Yeah.
Take this opportunity right now to say, what can I work on right now? So I'll give you an example. So instead of scrolling all day, right? There's no doubt that things are messed up. There's no doubt that things are weird.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like you know, it's like there's this every day it's a new normal.
I mean, it's weird for everybody. So
everybody.
That's kind of
as a human.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of some solace there. Is like, hey, we're all having to deal with this. Everybody has different levels of it. If you're a moving company owner or a business owner, you know, you have one way of dealing with it. If you're an employee, you have a whole nother way of dealing with it. So we're all kind of in this together, and that's something that, you know, is a bit comforting. At least we can all kind of look at each other and go, wow, isn't this crazy? This is something we haven't seen, you know, before, and help each other through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think, you know, right now we've got to be able to identify when we're letting fear take control. We've got to go extra on all the steps that we do to manage our stress. Yeah. Right. And to handle that. And then when you know, that's everybody. That's everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's like the quickest way to compromise your immune system is to be stressed out.
Right. That has a
if
huge
you're
effect.
Stressed out and you're not sleeping and you're not eating right and you're not exercising and you're not, you know, practicing some kind of breathing or meditation or something to calm you down, you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to compromise your immune system. And right now you've got to build your immune system. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if you think about all the time that you're spending, possibly, if you're sitting there and you're scrolling and you're looking for new news articles and you're saying coronavirus update, refresh, it's understandable, right? I mean, it's you know, you've got major companies and corporations that are like know how to keep your attention based on, factory installed human emotions, right? That we just all have. And, you've got to look at that time and say, how could I be using this time differently? Yeah. Right. Instead of consuming, maybe I need to be learning. Right. Whether it's, learning something for your business, learning how to boost your immune system. Maybe you're like, Lewis, I don't know how to boost my immune system. I don't know how to exercise. I don't know how to meditate. Well, you know what? Get your news once or twice a day. Check in on what new updates there are. Put that down, and then pick up a book. Pick up a course. Pick up a video. Pick up something that's going to teach you how to do something to not only handle this situation, but then grow moving forward. Yeah. Right? We were looking at the possibility of a recession, right? Stock markets had a rough time, right? Maybe you've lost some money, right? Maybe, you've really taken a hit, but you weren't really aware of where your money even was. You know what I mean? You had somebody managing it. You're like, I don't even know where it was, but I just know, I know my portfolio number is a lot lower, right? And it's not, it's not a laughing matter, but the point is, like, now could be the time to learn more about that. Yeah, right? You have the opportunity to look into it and educate yourself about it and take control of it. Yeah, and during the down times, that's when a lot of money could be made. Yeah. If you know how to go about that, right? So maybe it's time to learn that. So, maybe shift and say, okay, I'm consuming too much. What could I consume that I'm learning? Yeah. Right? Where I'm absorbing positivity, right? Because the fear is just toxic. What could I bring in that is beneficial? Yeah, it can balance that out, and it'll open your eyes to how much the outside media and social and everything influences you on a day-to-day basis. Maybe, before all of this, you're scrolling a lot and you're just picking up little bits of, negativity or drama on Facebook or whatever, and it has an effect on you subconsciously. Now you can actually see it happening, and shine the light on that, and maybe in the end be thankful that you discovered that, because
you know, we all have that addiction to the phone. You know, if you're curating your feed with negativity, you're going to have a negative bias. If you're curating your feed with, you know, positive and good inspirational things, you know, it may have a different effect.
Yeah, I mean, each moment we get to choose right now.
Yeah.
Right? We could choose the tone of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We get to choose the tone of the conversation with our loved ones, with our employees. And is that conversation in fear, right? Or are we going in faith that it will all work out? Like whatever your faith is, whatever you believe in God, sure, and all that. Like, you know, but to look at it and say it'll work out, it'll pass. I 100% believe that this will pass, and I mean it's going to, right?
Of course.
But there's times where it doesn't feel like that. There was times when 9/11 happened, it didn't feel like it was going to pass. It was the end of the world. Mm-hmm. There was times when the recession came, it didn't feel like it was going to pass, like it was the end of the world. So, you know, maybe for me, being able to look back and having gone through all that in business, like I know a lot of our listeners have,
yeah,
it gives you a little assurance that, man, this sucks. It's inconvenient. People are dying. It's scary. But we will get through it, and my business will get through it. And if the takeaway is like, if something like this, like the fear of impossibility of recession, a lot of people worry about recession and think that it's like instant death for their business.
Not necessarily.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
Right? What happens is this. In moments like we're going through right now, okay, you've got one person that will, be so overtaken by the fear that they're like a deer in headlights. Mm-hmm. And they're paralyzed to where they don't know what to do. They're stuck.
They're frozen.
They can't even say the words. They're frozen.
Yeah.
And then you've got somebody else, which I recommend everybody models this person, that says, you know what? I need to charge forward.
Yeah.
I need to realize that every action that I'm taking today is what will predict my future. Not the stock market, not a virus, not any of that, because none of that is in your control.
Right.
You've got to control what it is you can control.
Right.
So during this time, and we've talked to people this past week. We've got clients, certain cities are on lockdown. Certain cities look like they're going to be going towards lockdown. And there's the possibility of not being able to perform moves for, however long it's going to be.
Yeah.
Same thing with other businesses, any business, right? Everyone, it's tough right now. But if you sit back and either get frozen or feel sorry for yourself and, woe is me, this is terrible, I've got, this going on or that going on, this isn't a good time, then you might not make it through this business-wise. But the people who, my advice is take this time and keep moving forward.
Right.
Right? Keep pushing on all, everything that you had planned, everything that you were keep doing it.
Keep stepping towards it.
Keep stepping towards it. Don't take a step back, because you know what? This will pass, and think about where you want to be 6 months from now.
Yeah.
If you take a hit this month, if you take a hit next month, if this summer is weird and it's like, man, like maybe we weren't able to do some moves and all those people had to move to the summer, and it just, it's going to be different. We don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but it's going to be different.
Yeah.
But it will pass. And if today you're not taking actions that move the needle forward in your business, you're going to be sitting here in October in a really, really bad spot.
Right.
Really bad spot.
Yeah.
So, that's why we talk, you got to manage the stress. You've got to manage the fear. And then you've got to step up and be a leader and take the actions that you need to take right now. You need to be like on the offense instead of back on your heels on the defense.
Proactive.
You got to be proactive.
Yeah.
Right? It's so important right now.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are if you're paying attention to the media, if you're not managing that fear and you're not managing your stress and you're just high strung and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Now's the time to just recognize that and realize how susceptible you are to that outside influence that's coming in, that you're allowing in. get pissed off, take advantage of it. Say, hey, listen, I'm not going to allow this in my life anymore. I'm taking control of who I am, where I'm going to go with this business, what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let all of that in anymore. Build a force field around yourself, and decide to say, okay, every single day I'm going to take one little step forward. It doesn't have to be a big company changing step. It could be just one little personal thing or one little, process you implement into the company, but one little incremental step every single day, so that every day you're making a little bit of an increase. By the time you're saying October rolls around, if you did that every day, what kind of difference would it make in your company, in your life, in your business? I mean, one little step, that's it.
You'll be much better off than if you didn't do that.
Yeah.
You'll be much better off than if you just sat on the sidelines. And I'm saying this, I look at this, the closest thing that I can think of is the recession, or, growing up in Florida, like preparing for hurricanes and then devastation that happens with hurricanes and things like that. And, when I've dealt with both of those in my business, and you've got to just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. So like for me, it hit me for a day and a half, 2 days, where it knocked me off, man. It was like, it did. It was,
okay.
And the big part about it was how much I was consuming.
Right.
It was how much I was consuming. And it's like, if you look at your brain and it's a sponge and you're just absorbing all the fear.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going to be able to take action. It will. It would paralyze you,
like an involuntary bias.
Yeah.
You're just conditioned.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it, just going through when I process my email in the mornings, like just my inbox, every email list and every person that I receive emails from, it's all, coronavirus this and coronavirus that. And you have to just kind of realize, like, I need a few trusted sources, and then the rest of it, I got to get rid of. I got to
get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
And that includes anyone that's around that's like wants to talk to you about how the world's coming to an end.
No.
You can't listen to that.
No.
The world's not coming to an end.
Definitely
This is tough. I'm not going to pretend to be a medical expert. I'm not going to pretend to have predictions and be an economist and how this is going to affect our, global economy.
Yeah.
But it will impact everybody's business.
Everybody. Yeah.
And it will then start to subside, and then we'll all deal with a new normal. Whatever that's going to be, we don't know yet, but you've got a choice. There's the pandemic, right? There's the coronavirus, and then there's the fear.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you can to avoid the virus, but the fear
you can control.
Will cripple you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make anybody feel like, they're doing something wrong if they've been watching the news, or if they've been scrolling social media, or if they've been staying in touch with people talking about how things are, because that's just the majority of what everybody is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what major media is pushing on us.
Yeah.
And like, we're just, we've got to be super, super proactive about it. I mean, I caught myself this morning. I told myself I'm not watching the news before noon. Came in, my wife had, president was on talking.
Sucked in.
I got sucked in for,
yeah.
20 minutes or so. Then realized, like, okay, the main points are done. They're saying the same stuff. I got it. I got my update a little earlier than I wanted to today. But I'm out. Like, I need to detach and break myself away from this. And I don't want to look at it again the rest of the day. There's part of me, I think we all have that piece of us, we all have that little piece that wants it, that feeds off of it.
Yeah.
Right?
You enjoy it a little bit.
It's like you enjoy it a little bit. Give me the goods. What's going on? But you've got to fight that, because you got to know that that's damaging for you. It's damaging for your immune system. It's damaging for your health. And guess what? You've got kids at home. You've got family at home. Like, how do you want them to see you responding to this right now?
Yeah, you got people dependent on you.
There's people looking at you. You need to be a role model. You need to be a leader. You need to be calm in these situations and guide people.
Yeah.
Because you might have people in your household, you might have people in your family, you might have people in your neighborhood that aren't calm, that are freaking out.
True.
Right? That could really use somebody to come in and give them some perspective on everything that's going on.
From a safe distance.
Yeah, I mean, keep your distance. I mean, for real. Like, We went for a walk in the neighborhood yesterday, and you know, if there was somebody coming on the sidewalk this way, we just kind of went out in the street. And, you know, I'm not. Listen, why take chances?
Hey, listen, it's even like you were saying, it's about just making them feel comfortable. Like, you know, you don't know what they've been watching on the news today and how long they've been feeding the fear into their brain. You know, it's respect.
It is.
You know? It's
respect to do the right thing and take it seriously. Have you noticed though that like people are, I mean, I kind of noticed it myself, and I had to catch myself to where I see somebody coming, and there's like an adversarial, you know.
Oh, like a territorial kind of thing?
Yeah, like, you know, because I'm walking, I got my wife, the baby, the dog, you know, like, you have this thing, you're coming at me, like, you know, it feel, and I noticed that everyone's not as friendly, you know what I mean? Like, even like going to the store, it's like everybody's in there like this, like, Are you the one that's going to give it to me? Are you the one that's going to give it to me?
You know, I'm on the way in this morning. Our office is located near a Costco.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the lines of people waiting for that place to open up, you know, on my way in. And you see everybody standing in line. Some people are kind of respecting the social distance thing and pulling themselves out of the line a little bit. Some people aren't. But everybody is just sort of looking down at their phone and not really like talking to each other or, you know, being social. Like everybody's kind of in their own little bubble, and it's like the slightest little thing, like people are a little jittery, you know, somebody bumps their cart into the other person. Oh, you know, there's a little bit of tension there. You know?
I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable. I mean, I know, like I you know, I try to, when I catch myself doing something, I try to break down, like, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
You know, and I realized, you know, a neighbor walked by and wants to talk, and I'm like real short. I was like real short with him.
Yeah.
And I realized, I was like, okay, because in my mind, subconsciously, I'm thinking if I engage him in conversation, he's going to come closer.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to come closer.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, it's crazy times that we're dealing with, and it's an opportunity to it's an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Period. The end. Learn right now, right?
Yeah.
Learn better hygiene. Learn how to take care of your immune system. Learn how to manage stress. Learn how to make your business unbreakable so that when something like this happens, you know, look, because we deal with a lot of people at a lot of different levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
In business. And some, they're in good shape. They're like, you know what, this sucks, but they've got the money to weather the storm.
Yeah.
And some people don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's you could sit and panic, or you could say, you know what, this is the wake-up call. This is it. Like, now's the time. All that stuff that I've been saying I needed to do, but there was this and there was that, like, it kind of cuts through all the BS.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me move forward. And that's what I suggest everybody does right now. I mean, even if you can't do moves, if you're on a lockdown, be in touch with your customers. Yeah. Right? Manage that process of rescheduling them, getting them on the books for a later date, keeping in constant contact with them to make sure that they are, you know, because they're dealing with it too, right? And if you're their company, let them know you're still there, and also don't lose those moves.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Don't let them call. We don't know what we're doing. They're going to be like, oh, I'm not. Let me call somebody else because I need to move as soon as this thing is lifted and we're able to. Right? And I know that's not the case right now. There's still people moving right now today. But if that's where it goes, you've just got to be on top of managing that. You know, you've got salespeople. Let them work from home. Keep getting the leads. Keep booking moves. Keep moving forward. Yeah. You know, you've got to stay on point with your 5 fundamentals of the business, which are lead generation, booking moves, servicing moves, making sure you have happy customers, and your reporting and your accounting. You got to stay moving forward with all of that stuff right now.
Yeah, keep the machine going and reassure people, you know, retain them. I mean, that's the name of the game. You know, don't let the fear, you know, clear your calendar.
Yeah.
You know,
they need to move. If you're not allowed to go move them, that means they're not allowed to go move.
Yeah.
Which means that it'll be postponed, and you want to make sure that you still gather that, right?
Right.
So let's say you take a hit right now. It's going to affect everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully, you know, it won't be, hopefully less than more. But right now is the time where you've got to say, all right, every single day I need to be taking action towards moving my business forward. Because, you know, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, like you're not someone that's just sitting back, like happy with where your business is and like, I'm good. I'm, you know, you're trying to make it better. You're trying to improve. You're trying to make more money. You're trying to grow. You're trying to make it run smoother. Okay. You could be working on all that stuff now.
Right.
And put yourself 6 months from now. Think about 6 months from now. What actions do I need to take to where, you know, the end of the year where maybe it's normally slow, I'm able to double business. I'm able to really increase my business so that, you know, if I had a couple of bad months because of the coronavirus, I made up for it at the end of the year. Yeah. We've got a long way till December 31st. Don't look at this year and think, oh, it's done. My year is over. I'm not on track to hit my targets or hit my numbers. And, you know, we're all dealing with this. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, whatever you're going through, if you're having cash flow issues, if you're having problems, people get that. People understand that. Right? It's going to affect everybody. You might have to make hard decisions when it comes to employees. You might have to decide that, you know, maybe you want to be extra giving with them, but maybe you can't.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's, you know, maybe you can't pay the rent, you know, if it comes to that. The point is everybody's going through it, and I believe it'll all, you know, work itself out.
It is. If that's the situation for you and you're having to make those kind of difficult decisions, now's the time to put your foot down and say, I'm never going to want to make these decisions again. I'm not going to have to worry about this ever again. I'm going to change the company. I'm going to put things in place. I'm going to make sure that whether it's a virus, whether it's a recession, whether it's a natural disaster, some kind of thing that happens, you're going to be able to weather the storm. Never again. That's your foot down. Yeah.
That's it. Like, let this be the wake-up call.
Yeah.
You know?
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. And you know what? Again, I'll say it again. Going through the recession, right? Lost a ton. Yeah. Right? Was on my heels. Like, it was tough. Mm-hmm. But every day I kept moving forward. Every day I kept taking action. And you know what? The setback that I had at that time, the person that I became from that, and the lessons that I learned and the action that I took propelled me way further than I would have had I not gone through that and everything was as easy and cushy and, you know, all of that. So, you know, look at the long term, right? Don't look at the next week, the next 30 days. Yes, there's real stuff happening and you have to address it. You've got to minimize your downside. But at the same time, you've got to say, I just can't say it enough. Like, take action every day that's moving you towards building the business that you want, period. Regardless of what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to sit back 6 months from now and you're going to be like, man, you know what? I let that time go by.
Yeah.
I sat at home. I sat on the sidelines waiting to see what was going to happen. And it's the worst thing you could be doing for your business right now. The worst thing.
You don't want to sit there eating a big bowl of regret, you know, in a year from now.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time right now. You know, it's a solemn time and it's a serious time. So, you know, be serious. Be serious about your business, about what kind of life you want, you know.
And you don't have to run off of stress and adrenaline.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people resist stress management because they feel that stress is what helps fuel them to take action in their business. And I just challenge you, if that's you, to, you know, kind of take a different approach to it and calm yourself a little bit. Yeah. And, you know, charge this thing with intention of where you're going. I mean, you know, and it might shift every day. If every single day you've got to, you know, get out a pen and paper and say, okay, this is my plan. This is where I'm going. This right now, is there any way I could keep moving this forward? I could do that. Okay, I'll keep those things moving. All right, I can't move that project forward, but I can move this forward. I can move that forward. I could have this person working from home on this, that person working from home on that, right?
You could feel the stress melting away. Just coming up with a plan.
And your plan might be shit by the end of the day.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
True.
You know, like, you might come up with a plan and then they're like, hey, no, you know, can't do anything for the next month.
Right.
And then you readjust. right? So you go and review what's new and revisit your plan. Review and revisit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? But like keep moving forward. And I'm saying it because so many people right now are in a fork in the road with their business, right? And I'm speaking to business owners because that's who I can relate to the most. That's who we work with the most. And it's, the decision you make today and every day moving forward until we get out of this crisis here, that's going to predict your future.
Yeah.
Not what the stock market does, not what the coronavirus does. It's the actions that you take every day, because we will make it out of this. And no matter what, people always need to move.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
You're in as close to a recession-proof business as you could possibly be in if you're in the moving business.
Yeah.
Like when the recession hit, it wasn't that there was no moves, right? It's just the whole dynamic of things changed, right? For me, it was the perfect storm, which is everything that was going on. But people will always need to move.
Yeah.
So don't think that, an epidemic or a pandemic comes or a recession comes and it's like instant death to your business. It's not the case. It's just, it will filter out the weak, though.
Yeah,
the people that aren't taking the action, the people that are sitting back, they're not going to be in a good position if a recession comes or anything like that. So it's, you just got to keep pushing forward.
It's actually the choice you need to make, is you need to decide what kind of business am I going to have? Am I going to have a business that is, it gets tossed and turned with every little wave and storm that comes along? Or am I going to have a business that's adaptable, that I can easily change because I've got all of my fundamentals and foundation in place. I've got all my processes in place. I'm able to just turn on a dime if I need to.
Yeah.
And it's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's the reason we're moving forward with moving CEO virtual, right? I mean, we're going to do this 3-day live event virtually because I know that people need this now. Yeah. We were like, okay, we'll postpone it. We'll do it in the fall, which we're going to do also. But I'm like, I'm not going to hold back. I know people need this information now, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
How to safeguard your business so that it will thrive in any economy.
It's possible.
Right? And that's what we're doing. I mean, those of you, by the way, if you haven't already gotten your virtual ticket for Moving CEO, we're doing the event. We're still doing it. We're going to be broadcasting the event live for 3 full days, April 2nd through the 4th. Go to movingseminar.com, movingseminar.com. Get your seat. I'm going to be laying out a plan for you to get through this, thrive in any economy, build the business that you've always wanted to build, and come and get focused on learning about possibilities and how to get there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I like, this opportunity we've had to really focus on the online virtual seminar and making it as good as we can. And now that I've seen the framework for it and we're working on ironing out all the details and how we're going to present it, I think it's better than ever. I think it's better than it could have been.
It's going to be the best. It's going to be the best event we've ever done, even out of the live in-person events.
I agree.
And so make sure you are there. I mean, there's no reason not to be. This is my mission. My mission is to help people profit in business and thrive in life. And you know what? Shit happens, and stuff comes along, and the economy will get rocky, and a pandemic will come along, and like you said, natural disaster. Things happen in the world that could affect your business. Don't let your business be vulnerable and so fragile that one little tick in the stock market puts you under. You've got to be strong, and you've got to have that long-term plan. And if you've got that long-term plan and you've got that vision for your business of where you're going to go, just know we will get past this. You will still be able to do that. Use this as a time to get stronger. Use this as a time to build your ability as a leader, as a CEO, to do the things in your business that before maybe you were putting off, but now you're like, you know what? Had I been in a position where I did these things previously and I set myself up, I'd be in a much better position right now. Well, you know what? You are where you are today based on decisions you made in the past. Period. The people that are like, this sucks, but I'm going to weather this storm in the moving business are able to say that because of the decisions they made previously and the actions that they took. And the people that are in a very, very, very vulnerable position right now, and my heart goes out to them, are there because they didn't take the action, or and doesn't mean they didn't take action, doesn't mean they didn't work hard. We see a lot of people work really hard, but it's not taking the right action to win the game of business. So think about that today and say, you know what, where do I want to be 6 months from now? Where do I want to be 6 years from now? All that, we could predict where you're going to be 6 years, 6 months, all based on the actions you're taking every day moving forward. So listen, guys, stay strong, stay safe, stay informed, and stay focused and hungry and keep moving forward. Don't let this be a time where you lose your momentum, you lose what you have going on. Keep pushing in every area that you possibly can, and you will come out strong on the other end of this. You will make it through. You will be stronger for it, and you will build a bigger business, becoming the person that you will become having gone through something like this. So, listen, until we see you next time. Chris, you got anything to add?
A couple of things. I want to also give a shout out to all of our members and community, of company owners out there who have, taken the initiative to implement a lot of the things that you teach, and they've either, been a part of your programs or have been private clients and stuff like that. Those people who are still crushing it right now and just getting through this, barely sweating, and to them as well, the amount of love and just camaraderie that they've showed within our community, like within our group. And I mean, it's like, you would think that they're all the same company, that they're all like, we're in this together. Everybody's on the same team,
just reading the comments. And we were just live with them, a couple hours ago. And, I mean, so, right now, just do what you can to be supportive of anybody and everybody that you've got going on.
We appreciate it.
Anything you could do in the community too. If there's some way you could help, do what you could do. So listen, guys, stay strong, stay safe. Make sure you go and sign up for Moving CEO Live. And I'm saying that to you. I know you're like, Lewis, we're going through a lot of stuff. I know we're going through a lot of stuff. I'm here at the office right now for you guys to put this message out there because we still need to move forward, right? We can't be on pause. Make sure you get your tickets. Moving CEO, go to movingseminar.com. That's movingseminar.com. We're doing this virtually. You can watch it from your home. You can watch it with your team. And I'm going to make sure that it is like, it's already laid out. I've got it all laid out. And you don't want to miss this. If you've been to one of my past events, this is going to be totally different, totally new, and we're coming straight at all the big obstacles that you face in order to, set up a smooth running business and then to scale that smooth running business. We're going to knock down all those obstacles and give you a plan on how to do it. And until I see you then, go out there every single day, profit in your business, thrive in your life, wash your hands, stay away from people, stay safe, my friends. I'll see you next time. Hey, my friend, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you're really ready to take your moving company to that next level, watch that video right there. And until I see you in the next one, go out there every single day, profit in your business, and thrive in your life.